Hello everyone. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the instruction formats. So we have discussed a slight part of it in the previous chapters as well, in which we have opcode, address field, and mode field. So we have different type of organizations according to which we perform the different operations. So first of all, we have single accumulator organization, we have general register organization, and we have stack organization. So based on these different type of organizations, we have different type of address formats. So let us firstly talk about the zero address instructions. So these are the type of instructions which we have. They all are based on our different organizations of our computer. So firstly, we will talk about zero address instruction. Now in zero address instruction, we have why it is known as a zero address instruction, because with the opcode which we are going to use, like we have operation like add. So with add, whenever we are using add, we are not going to give any kind of address with it. So wherever the opcode is used, we will not provide any kind of opcode, any kind of address. So that is why it is known as zero address instruction. So the first instruction is zero address instruction. Now this zero address instruction is implemented on stack organization. So the stack organization is used to provide the zero address instruction. So in the case of zero address instruction, now we have an example which is x a plus b into c plus d. So what is happening in this? We are going to store the value in x by executing a and b, a plus b into c plus d. So after executing this all, we are going to store our result in memory location x. So to do it in stack, we have the first operation as push. So we are going to push the value of a, then we will push the value of b. Once both the values are there, we are going to perform add operation. Now add is given as a opcode. So with opcode, we are not mentioning any kind of address, which is the reason why we call it as zero address instruction. The same process will be done for push C, then we will do it for D, then we will perform add operation. Once it is added inside the stack, the next operation is multiply. Now multiply is also a opcode. This is a opcode, this is a opcode. With any of the opcode, we are not mentioning any kind of address. So it is a zero address instruction. And last one is pop the value of and store it in x. So x is your memory location. Pop the element and store it in x. So in this case, how many number of instructions do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this particular process is done in 8 different instructions. So we need to execute 8 different instructions to perform this task. So the next type of instruction is one address instruction. So in the case of one address instruction, we are going to implement this particular thing instead of using our stack. Now we are going to use the accumulator to do this task. So we are having a single accumulator which is going to perform all this task. So that is a single general purpose register which we have. So to implement this, first of all, we will need to load the value, and where this value of a will be loaded, it will be loaded into the accumulator. So that is why you can see this, it is MA from memory. We load it in accumulator. Then with add, now add is the opcode which we are going to perform. We are mentioning a single address with it. So that is why it is known as one address instruction. So after this we have store, because we are going to store it in some temporary memory. Once we have loaded the value of a, after that we have performed the addition. Third thing is to store the value at a temporary location. Then we are starting with the execution of this part. So we are going to load the value of c, then add the value of B with it. Once it is done, then we are going to perform the multiplication. Now what multiplication we are going to do? Once we have added the value of B, that resultant is already stored in the accumulator. Now if I execute the multiplication, then the value which we have stored after performing add is already stored in the accumulator. Now the value from T will be multiplied with that value. So it will be something like AC is already having a value which it has got by adding C and D, and then it is multiplying it with any location from memory location from that place and multiply it with T. Once it is done, we are going to store the content at the location X. Now, when we are having one address instruction and a single general purpose register, the length of the program to execute the same instruction is reduced to 7. So now instead of 8 lines of code, we are going to write 7 lines of code. So let us move to the next part. So that is the next type of instruction, which is a to address instruction. Now in to address instruction, we are going to have two addresses along with your operand. So if we are going to perform any kind of arithmetic operation, we are going to give two addresses with it. So let us talk about that. Now this two address and three address instructions are executed with the help of our general register organization. So that is based on your general register organization. So in this case, what we are going to do in to address instruction, we have the first value like move the content from A to R1, means from A location, A content will be shifted to R1 register. Then add the value of R1 and the value of B. This value of B will be added with R1. Once it is done, then we will do it on the second register. The same thing for C. Then we will add both the values R2 and D. Once both are added, then after that we are going to multiply. What we are going to multiply? R1 and R2. And once it is R1 and R2, the data of R1 and R2 will be multiplied and the answer will be stored in R1. And once it is done, after that we are going to move the value from R1 register to X. X is your memory location. Now, if you check the length of our program, it is now reduced to 6 lines of code. So in the first case for zero address instruction, it was 8 lines. Then for one address instruction, it was 7 lines. Now as we have moved to two address instruction, it is 6 lines. After this, the next thing which we have, that is a three address instruction. Now in the case of three address instruction, we don't need to perform such a heavy task. So what we can do is we can simply do it in a very simple format, that add the value of A and B and store the content in R1. Then add the value of C and D and store it in R2. Once it is done, then multiply the value of R1 and R2 and store the value at X. So now just in 3 lines of code, we are able to execute the same instruction. But what is the difference? Now we are giving three addresses in it. So the program length is reducing, but the complexity of this task will increase because we need to have multiple number of registers for it. We need to be aware that in how many number of execution cycles it will be completed, because it is going to access registers, it is going to access, it is having two different memory locations to access, because you can see it at this place. When we are referring to this value, we have to refer two times to the memory. So firstly to get the data of A, then to get the data of B. So there are two memory accesses. So the total time which we will need to execute this instruction will be longer, but the lines of code are less. So if you check this, we never looked into the memory. So everything is stored. We simply push that elements. We are not referring to memory. There is only one place where we are referring memory, that is to store the content. That's it. In this case, we are having one memory access in most of the cases. At this place also we are having one access, but in all these most of the cases which we are using and the three address instruction, we are having two memory accesses. So it is going to take longer time. So as the address instructions are increasing, like three address instruction is there, in three address instruction complexity will be more and your length of the program will be short. Now once it is complete, the next thing is addressing modes. Now we are going to move towards different addressing modes. So we have done addressing modes earlier as well. In that case we have only done two addressing modes, which was represented by 0 and 1. This was a direct addressing mode, this was indirect. If it is 0, if the mode bit was 0, it was direct. If the mode bit is 1, it was indirect. Now in this case, when we are doing the addressing mode, so we are having number of addressing modes. Now why it is there? Because it helps your programmers to get a flexibility about the code, about the addressing. So that is what the task of these addressing mode is. So instead of having a single two addressing modes only, now we are having around 8 addressing modes in it. So the first addressing mode which we have, that is implied mode. So it is a little bit difficult to understand till the time we don't do any example of it. So we will be performing that example as well. So let us just pay attention to firstly understand what is a implied mode, what is a immediate mode. So I will just tell you about that. So in the case of a implied mode, the instruction itself stores the address, or instruction itself has the address of the operand. Now what does it mean? Like if there is an example of CLA is a clear accumulator instruction. CME is a clear the value of E or complement the value of E. This is clear the value of AC. AC is the accumulator. E is that overflow condition which we were having inside your ALU. So in these two instructions, it is clear. If it is clear the accumulator, it means the where we have to perform that instruction on accumulator. So accumulator is working as a address. So that is why in the case of implied mode, the operand is directly specified inside the instruction only. So that was implied mode. Now in the next case, when we talk about immediate mode, in the case of immediate, instead of writing the address, like if I want to add the content, I write add 30. So this 30 is not a address in the case of implied mode. This 30 is a operand. If we are using the immediate mode, this 30 will be working as a operand instead of a address. It is very fast to work because we directly get the operand. We can simply add the content directly. We need not to perform anything in this. We need not to refer memory. We need not to get any actual address. We are directly getting the operand and we can execute it. This is the immediate mode. Now the next mode is register mode. Now register mode is an interesting thing. So what we have in the register mode, we have a CPU. CPU has some memory and it is having a register set. The register set is your general register organization. So that number of registers are there. Now instead of giving the address of memory, we give the address of a register. Like if this is the register number 3, so instead of giving any location inside the memory, we give register CPU the address of a register in which it will find the content. So that is your register mode. In the third case, the value is given for this particular register. So address mode is specified. Is the register address designated operand need to be in the register? It is shorter because we are not going to access the memory. Memory is attached with your CPU by using motherboard, whereas the registers are on your system, so it is very fast to execute. After this, the next mode which we have, that is register indirect. It is not widely used one because it is a hectic task to perform the register indirect mode execution. Now why it is like this? In the register indirect mode, what happens, to CPU we give a address of a register. Like at this place we have given a address like 200. So after accessing this register, this CPU will go to the memory and check for the location 200 and will get the operand 30. Okay, so this is the process. Firstly, CPU will move to the register, and from register it will get the value and then it will access the actual operand. So it is relatively slow because CPU needs to firstly access the register, then access the memory. So it is always advisable either use direct memory address, then it will save us this time of going to the register and getting the data, or either directly put it in the register, the operand directly put it at this place so that we don't need to refer memory. But in the case of register indirect, we are performing both the tasks, so it slow down our process, so we don't use it much. It is very less used type of mode, which is a register indirect mode. Now after register indirect, the next type of mode which we have, that is auto increment and auto decrement. So this is something similar to your programming languages which you use. Like if you remember, we have something like I plus plus, which means this value of I will be incremented after accessing it once. Once you have accessed it, it will automatically increment. One is something like this. In this case, I value will be incremented before accessing it. So same thing is there inside the auto increment and auto decrement thing, just addresses. So what will happen? This is a CPU. To this CPU we have registers. There are number of registers which we have. Assume that the address which we have given to the CPU is 400. If it is auto increment, then what will happen? One time it will be 400, then it will be automatically incremented to 401. The address of that instruction will automatically incremented by 1. If it is auto decrement, the next time when we are trying to access it, it will automatically become 399. So please read it once, it is important. Now when the address in the register is used to access memory, the value in the register is incremented or decremented by 1 automatically. So there is one thing which is very clear from this, that we are not going to use this register to access the operand. It is mentioned that when the address in the register is used to access memory, it means that we are going to use the register indirect mode in this case. So which also means that if this is more time consuming, this is also more time consuming. So they are very less used addressing modes. So if it is 400, at this 400 the address value is given as 30, so then it will move to this 30th location and get the content. This was what we have. Then after this, if it was 400 and auto increment, next time it will be 401. If it is auto decrement, next time when you try to access, this value will automatically become 399. So it is not going to access it from here. It is going to access it from this place. So this is auto increment and auto decrement. So we will get this once we are doing the example. You will be able to understand it properly. After this, the next is direct address mode and indirect address mode. So it is same as that of our direct and indirect which we have done earlier. So if it is 0, it is a direct address. If it is 1, it is an indirect address. So it is same as of that. So if it is a direct address mode, we are directly getting the operand at the location which is given. Like if it is given as address at 500, so directly we will shift to the location 500 and we will get the operand. This is direct address. If it is indirect address, now in the case of indirect address, 500 is mentioned. At 500 we have mentioned 330, so we will shift to 30 and get the operand. So this will be a indirect addressing mode. So it is same as what we have done earlier. Now next is the last type of address, which is a relative address. In the relative addresses, we are having three different variations in it. First one is PC relative, second one is index relative, third one is base relative. So these are the three different type of addresses which we have in our relative addressing mode. So first one is PC relative. It is clear from this. It has to do something with the program counter. Index relative. It has to do something with index register. This is have something to do with base register. Okay. So we will just move to this. If we want to find out a exact address in the case of a PC value, PC relative address, what it will be, whatsoever value is given to you, that address will be added with the value of program counter. Whatsoever address is given to you, that address will be added with program counter. So then it is the calculation of PC relative address. Then if it is index register, then the value which is given to you will be added with the index register which is mentioned at this place as IX, and we are going to add the address with it. So that is index register. After this we have base register. In this you will be given with a base register value. That value will be added with the given address, and then it will become a base relative address. So this is how we are using it. There are three different modes: PC relative, index relative, and base relative address. Now after this, let us shift to the next example. This example is quite important, so you can understand all the addressing modes from the single example which we have. Now in this example, what is mentioned, first of all we have an instruction at the location 200, and the instruction is load to AC, and we have a mode with it, and the address part which is there, that address part is mentioned in the second word. Address is equal to 500. So if you remember, I said you earlier as well that it might be possible that one word doesn't store the complete instruction, so you might need to distribute it to two locations. So now this is the example of that. So instead of putting the complete instruction on one word, they have distributed it on two places, in which First is to the opcode, the second is your address. So this instruction is on two locations, so 200 and 201. Now if I start executing from this place, my PC value, my program counter value, if I execute this instruction, means I am executing this one, so it should contain the address of next instruction. So PC will be storing the address of next instruction, which is here. And what will be the address here? 202. Okay. So I will just complete this and then we will discuss how they are working. So at 399 we have the address 450. Now please remember, you can change any value, but all the content which you are using should be properly distributed. Like all the addresses should be present. Then at location 500 we have a content 800. At the location 600 the content is 900. Then at the location 702 it is 325, and at the location of 800 the content is 300. Okay, so this is the example. Now let us move to the addressing mode one by one. So first addressing mode which we have, that is direct address. In the case of direct address, now in this example what we are going to find, we are going to move for two values. First one is effective address, that is where we are actually storing our content, so that is our effective address. And second is what is the content at this effective address. Whatsoever effective address we will calculate, what is the actual content which has to be loaded. So that these are the two values which we are going to calculate. So I will just mention it, like this is the effective address and this is the content which we are going to load to the accumulator, because it is going to get loaded in the accumulator. Now if it is a direct address, so in the case of direct address, what is the address given? It is the content of 500. So this is a direct address. If it is a direct address in the first example, so it means 500 is my actual location of the content. So I will move to 500, get the content. What is it? 800. So my effective address is 500 and my content is 800 because I have got 800 here. Then if it is a implied mode, oh sorry, immediate mode, because in implied mode the name is directly given inside the instruction. So the example of implied mode will be CLA, CME. We have discussed about that. So if it is a immediate mode, so in the case of immediate mode, what we have, in the case of immediate mode, this is no longer a address. This will be the actual operand on which we are going to perform the task. So there is no effective address in it, and the content which is going to get loaded will be 500. Just refer to the this particular thing. Instead of specifying the address of the operand, means this is not our address, it is operand itself. So 500 is the operand. So then it is directly given written at this place. This is the second. Now for the third one, if it is indirect address, so indirect address is same as we did in the first cases. So at 500, this is 500. So I will shift to 500. So we shift at this place. We get the location of actual operand. What is it? 800. So from here we will jump to 800. And what is the now effective address? 800. And what is the content? 300. So 300. So this was indirect address. Now after indirect address, the next type of address which we are looking at is a relative address. So first address which is relative, it is PC relative. Now PC is program counter relative. 500 is the value which is given to us in the address. And as I said you, the value of program counter will be 202. Okay, I forgot to mention one thing. There are some other values given as well. So this PC is 200 when it was about to start. Once it has started the execution, this 200 will become 202. Then we are given with a register address which is R1, that is 400. Then we also have a base register XR with the value of 100, and AC is there. So we will just not use the AC. So now let us talk about PC relative. So in the case of PC relative, what we are going to do is we are going to add the value of program counter and the address which is given. So now what will be the value of program counter? When I am executing at this place, the next instruction is at 202. So I am going to add this value with this. So it is 500 plus 202. It is 702. 702 because it is 500 plus 202. This 202 is the value of program counter. So at 200 to 702, what is the content stored? 325. So 320. Next, fifth is base, then is index relative. So in index relative, this is the index register which we have. It is not visible. So this is the index register which is available to us. Okay. So it will be PC plus this value. So PC is 500 plus 100. 500 plus 100 is 600. So this is 600. It is 500 plus 100. And at 600 the content is 900. So we are storing 900 here. After this, next is sixth, which is register address. In the case of register, we are directly using this value. We are not having anything given at any place. So for the register, only one register is mentioned at this place, which is containing the value 400. So no effective address is there because it is directly the content. So 400. After this, the seventh type of address is register indirect. Now, as I said you, this is very less used type of instruction address mode. So what we are going to do is at this place, the value given is 400. We will jump to 400 from this place to this. Means firstly the address is given for register, and then from this place we get the content of 400 and check at this place. This is my actual operand now. What is the effective address? 400. So register indirect 400 will be my effective address and 700 will be my content. Now after this register indirect, let us move to the next, which is auto increment. Now if you remember, the auto increment part was when the register is used to access memory, the value in the register is incremented or decremented by one automatically. So we are going to use the same concept now. From this place we will refer this and then increment the value of it by 1. So in the case of auto increment, the value will remain same and the content will also remain same. Why? Because it is I plus plus kind of thing. It is something like this. I plus plus means once I have accessed this, after that it will be incremented. So after that what value we get at this place doesn't bother us. So we will keep the same value. But if it is auto decrement first, so if we are performing the auto decrement, so in the case of auto decrement, this value was 400 earlier, then it will be changed to 399. So now the value will be 399 because it is something minus minus or plus plus I. which means before accessing the value of I, it will be incremented. But if it is something like this, so it will be decremented before accessing it. So earlier it was 400, now it is decremented by 1, which comes out to be 399, and the content is 450. So we are going to write that. So with this, our addressing modes are complete along with our instruction formats. So the next topics which we have, that is a program interrupt, and later we will move towards the CISC and RISC. With this, our chapter will be complete. If you have any query, you can ask. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and please pay attention to this example. It is very important.